Hey guys, welcome to Just Imagine. My name's Justin, and welcome to our 9-part series on how to paint Space Marine chapter symbols. So, since this is our first video in our 9-part series, I'm just going to take my time and tell you guys what this is about. So, you guys are probably wondering, it's probably pretty damn hard to paint, well, not paint, place those decals. Let me get it. Place those decals that Games Workshop gives you in your model box. And so you're probably wondering, these don't stick very well. If you do not have the Microset or Microsol solutions that you can apply to your models that keeps them stuck there, they are 10 bucks. What you're about to do is free. Well, hopefully free, because hopefully you have the paints that you need to be painting your chapter symbols. So, say goodbye to this, get your paintbrushes out, and let's start. So, for our first video, I thought it was only appropriate to paint our boys, the Dark Angels. So, our green boys are rocking a sword and wings. So, for this technique that we're going to be doing to accomplish painting that is a line and a half circle, and you're going to be seeing that in the footage shown in just a second here. And then you're going to be cutting away using your darker paint. So they rock green and white for their pauldron. So let's get to the video.
So guys, we've got our mini here, and I got him primed up, but we're not painting him today. So if you see here, we're not going to be using this tiny little surface to show you how we're doing this. The best way to practice is to get yourself a little card and try to paint and practice the techniques that you're going to be doing. And past Justin shows you what we're doing. So first we're going to do the line that I told you guys about. We're going to go up. Then we're going to start making the ellipse or the half circle. And just take your time. What you're going to see is me kind of mess up during this video. I have a camera in my face trying to do this for y'all. It is kind of hard, so you're probably gonna have an easier job doing this, but yeah, just follow on the video if you want, or go ahead and just wait and see what I do. Just gonna touch this up a bit. And you don't need to try to fill it up or make it pure white, because you're going to be having to go over this and cut out parts of the design with green. Just like we're about to do right now. And hopefully you have a reference to look at while you're doing this. But if you notice, the Dark Angels symbol has a little bit of a point that's protruding from the wings a bit, so you're probably going to want to make your ellipse a little bit smaller than I did, so you can save yourself the time from not having to do this. But we all make mistakes. So I'm You can see them just trying to finally start carve out, as you would say, the design. And it's going to be rough for the first few minutes that you're doing this. It's not going to be perfect, so don't get unmotivated, just frustrated if it's not looking real good when you're first doing it. It's not going to be perfect. And don't be afraid to move your model around if you're going to do this on your model or just your practice template that you got. Just be comfortable, do what you need to do. So we made those lines right there to break apart the little feathers that's on the sword and wings. I don't know if you noticed this, but I had to change out my brush because the fine tip brush that I had, I think it was a spotter brush that I ordered off of Amazon. You can get like a set for like $15. That one's tip wasn't as perfect as it was, so I had to go out to Michael's and get myself a better brush, well, a newer brush, and it was only $3. And I'd highly recommend, if you're going to be doing this, to have like a tiny brush. You're going to be using it a lot for this. I don't know if it would be a smart decision to try to use a 2 or a 1. So right now we're gonna, well, right there you seen that we just did the little not the pauldron, whatever that little guard at the top of the sword is. We're gonna make like a tiny little square, and this is outer view. And as I said in the beginning of the video, you're gonna be kind of carving the design out of the shapes that we make during these videos. Such as right now, like this part's going to be a little tedious. Don't fret. Just keep going back and forth between the white and the green. You're going to do this a few times, possibly a lot of times. And I apologize, you're probably going to see this a few times during the video. Sometimes when I'm trying to get a good angle on this, I kind of take my eye away from the camera to see what's going on, and sometimes the shot's not perfect, but I mean, all we're doing is doing the same thing, going back and forth, seeing what we're doing, looking at our reference, and trying to carve out this symbol. So we're like halfway through, so when you start getting to a point that you're feeling comfortable at, you can start trying to up the contrast on your symbols color and just start filling it in more. Um, you're gonna start seeing now I'm kind of second guessing myself and trying to make it fill it out, trying to see what I can do to make the symbol look a little bit better. And at some point, I believe on the left side, I'm gonna like completely cover it and bring it out a little bit more and try to fix up those indentations with the green. I did have a lot of fun doing this one. It was kind of new because I'm not a ultramarine player, but my army that I'm painting currently is ultramarines. So when the ultramarine episode comes out, you're gonna notice that that episode's really fast. That's because I'm used to painting the ultramarines really quickly. So yeah. Now I'm just cleaning this up. And then as you're progressing toward like a final look that you want, you're probably gonna start looking at it and be like, I'm gonna kind of want to get in there a little bit more and have a little bit more fine detail. And here I'm trying to do that. Paint's gonna dry up so fast with how little paint you have, just trying to get these tiny details in there. I'd highly recommend trying to water down your paints a little bit, just so that you can, even though they're thin coats, you can kind of just quickly brush over it. I wouldn't recommend too much water, probably like I'd say a 50-50 mix. Drop of water, drop of paint, maybe a little bit more water. And I kind of failed right there. If you have a little bit of paint that you kind of just went over, you can usually try to brush it off with your finger real quick and I'll take up the paint real fast. Right there, just because how quickly the paint dries, because how little we're using, it kind of just doesn't work here. There's nothing really much to do on this. Now, yeah, the little decals Games Workshop gives you is probably the safest bet if you want like real clean thing, but this can really help out your fine details for your minis if you start practicing doing this a little bit. Always painting's always really good for you. Helps teach your hand-eye coordination. Keep working on it, and eventually get to a point that you're pretty good at doing what you're doing. As I said with the Ultramarines, I'm really good at just getting it down real quick, fast, and not having to go back and forth like I'm doing right here. Also, the fact that I have a camera in my face doesn't really help, so you probably won't have to experience this too much frustration. This one really wasn't that frustrating. I can already tell that the Imperial Fists and the Iron Hand are gonna be a little bit of trouble just because of finger digits are usually the hardest thing to paint and to draw. So take my word for it. Your Iron Hand and Imperial Fist players out there, you're not gonna have a fun time, but you can push through it. And past Justin is out of frame again. So we're kind of starting to get to the end here. There's like 5 minutes left at this point. Just because me being a perfectionist, try to crunch in that last minute and try to get the best possible outcome. Just don't worry about it, especially if you're practicing. It's not like anything. It's not like someone's gonna come up to you and be like, like, you did that? Nah, no, especially not in this hobby. From what I can see in Reddit, just everyone's really supportive on how you do things and usually give you good tips. And I highly recommend you go check Reddit out on not the Games Works, or the Warhammer 40k section of Reddit. Find some nice people on there to help you out. So I think what I was trying to point out right here was that you try to separate, make the lines a little bit thicker, just to show distinction between the wings and the sword, just so that it's just the lines aren't just fading away from existence, just kind of just blending into each other. You kind of don't want that. You're gonna have to repaint certain areas. I kind of had to cut away from here a little bit further just because the practice tip was practice card was out of frame. Oh, and if you were wondering what I was using to paint, it was a poster board that I spray painted with black primer. just so that the paint doesn't really seep through too much. Kind of helps the paint adhere a bit better than just being on just normal poster board. So starting to look like we're finishing up. Just keep looking at your reference and making sure everything's to your liking. And nothing ever has to be perfect. It just has to be how you like it. It's your imagination. It's your army. Just do what you think looks good to you. The rule of cool, like everyone says in this hobby. Whatever looks cool to you, whatever looks good to you. That's all you have to do. Do it for yourself, nobody else. So yeah, we're getting the finishing details done here. We're just thinning up some lines, getting them a little bit crispy. Nice clean edges. Or as clean as we can get them. Yeah, it looks like we're done here. So yeah, just showing you that it's a little bit bigger than the pauldron. When you're looking at this, it's kind of gonna it kind of applies on what you're doing. When you're doing it on the mini, you're kind of gonna get into your head that you're gonna have to paint that. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you actually made it to the end of the video, I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and please, if to help us out, to leave a comment, see what we could do better, and subscribe if you want more content. Thanks. See you later.